Monbasa, Mvita. Topic: Haiti. The owners pronounce it Haiti. So I pronounce it our way, Haiti. Haiti or Haiti is the first country in the world that slaves rose up against the colonizers. By then it was colonized by the French. They took many black people to go and work in the sugar plantations. And these slaves rose up and were able to fight the French colonialists. And in 1804, were able to get self-leadership. This was a country that had been occupied before by the indigenous Americans called Taino. That was a group. When the French colonized it as a sugarcane plantation, it was called Saint Domingue. When the blacks fought and defeated the French colonialists, do we call them French colonialists? Do we call them French? Call them slave masters? Do we? I don't know the part to put, because these were slaves that had been sourced from different places in Africa, black, by the same people to settle in the land that used to be Taino land. And Taino, by the way, was a group of indigenous Americans. Some people wrongfully used to call them Red Indians. They are not Indians, they are indigenous Americans. So when the blacks got independent, they changed the name to Haiti, meaning mountain flower or land of mountains. It was a great achievement. Apart from the great revolutions that had happened in Europe, this was a revolution of its kind, pulled by the black people to have an independent republic. And the Republic of Haiti or Haiti came into existence. 1804, I reiterate. Within that time, blacks had their leadership. And I remember when I was a very small child, I had my dad talking of Papa Doc. And I was wondering who was Papa Doc. It was the name that people had nicknamed the president of Haiti that time. He was an oppressive man, a man who wanted to have his way only, regardless of what the people of Haiti thought. He used voodoo, he used militia, he used anything you could imagine of to stay in power. And in the process, he trained his son, prepared him for takeover. And the people of Haiti, when the son took over, they called him Baby Doc. He followed in his father's footsteps. So Haiti had baby dog, papa dog, and baby dog. The country ended up having violence. It has been having violence. Many of the people, communities who had been taken as slaves in Africa, developed a religion apart from the largest religion in Haiti, which is Catholicism. And then the second religion that follows is a combination of mysticism, Christianity, and anything you can imagine, witchcraft, is called voodoo. So voodoo is a second religion after Catholicism. This is a religion that deals with rituals, with sacrifices, with many interesting things. I know you may be wondering, why is this guy talking about Haiti? In the process of things happening, there was a time when a great earthquake struck Port-au-Prince and the neighboring places, and many people were killed because the structure of the buildings had not been seriously been put in thought. So many of the buildings collapsed. Many people died. After that, things started picking up. And then mayhem again took place. The Americans and other people have been trying, because there was a time when America had controlled Haiti. It's on the American coast, not very far from the United States of America. They tried to bring in peacekeepers from different places, and the results were not very encouraging. Then the present president of this country traveled to America, and America and the rest of the world requested the country of Kenya to take a contingent of policemen to lead the force that was going to help put peace in Haiti. There was great debate. Some of us said they were not supposed to go. Some of us said, let them go. So after debating, those who wanted to help a fellow black man's country had their way. Said, let us help our brothers and sisters in Haiti. And we sent a contingent of policemen. Kudos to the police force for presenting us well in Haiti. It was this month when the last batch of the contingent came back to Kenya. Salute you, the Kenyan police. You did a good job. Now, being back in Kenya, we learned that Haiti has been a troubled country, though it was the first black country to fight and win its independence. The religious structure and the gang have made it uncontrollable, each warlord controlling a different part. Notorious amongst them is the one called barbecue. And people have been wondering, why barbecue? And stories go that he says his mother used to fry chicken. But other people say it's because of the way they would torture those people who did not abide by what they did whenever they took a place. They would capture a place. They would burn them. They would do all sorts of tortures. So you are barbecued like meat. And he's been controlling a large part of that place. And the forces that went there tried whatever they did and they're back. But why am I talking about this barbecue thing? Why am I talking about Haiti? It's because we were privileged to help bring back the mountain flower to the land of the mountains. But also it should be a lesson to us. It should be a lesson that violence does not build. We've talked about these things. Many Kenyans wishing Kenya well have talked about our political situation. I've been amongst them, but many Kenyans have talked about it. They have talked about peace. And I take this opportunity to salute fellow Kenyans for being honorable citizens of our beloved countries. We've been talking of violence in the streets, of doing what, but from yesterday and today I've seen something good happening in court. That is what I call battle. I say let's battle to the end. Battle. Get to the court. If you are not satisfied, appeal. Get through the other legal channels. Battle until you feel justice is done to you. Or until the justice system tells you now what you are looking for is not justice. When I say it, God willing, Kenya shall not shed blood. But we shall fight until the election day. I'm praising God. I'm praising Kenyans too for hearing and knowing this is our country. And we have got the legal systems, the legal structures. Any anger one feels, any bitterness one has. I was talking of the Middle East and other countries. And I said, the Muslims and the Christian, or the Portuguese, the Christians, because they are flying the flag of Christ. That's why they named the Fort Jesus. Did you know why they named it Fort Jesus? Because the Portuguese were the ones flying the Christian flag, representatives of Jesus. So when they built this place to guard the main way to then the land of spices, India, they named it Fort Jesus. And due to many battles that came from that place, the coastal people learned that fighting with weapons was destructive. They developed a Kenyan style of war. Let's battle it verbally. Let's argue it in court. Let me tell you, you are treating me unfairly. You may think you are treating me fairly. I'm not satisfied. That is the way the Monbasa people do. That is the way God recommended when I was being given these topics to talk about, that we solve our problems. Let's agree to disagree, disagree to agree, agree to agree, or disagree to disagree on the table. And let us not feel shy to say, I feel I'm still not satisfied. Can we go to another level? Let's battle through our legal systems. I've watched on TV and I've seen battle in court. That's battle. I love that. Let's do it until we feel justice is done to us, until we feel any anger in us is emptied. We've done everything that we can be able to do. By then, when we reach elections, we shall be in a position to vote quietly. We have come up as Kenyans, as the example that God gave. We battle like the Monbasa people. Verbally, let's be the best verbal fighters in the world. Let Kenyans be Kenyans. I salute the spirit of Kenyans. May Kenya have peace. By God's grace, no blood shall be shed in Kenya. I thank the Kenyan people for realizing that we have many structures to battle through. Let's battle. Let's battle. That's the spirit. That's my take for now.